Hey friends, today's video I am going to be sharing with you 3 ways to make sure that your store is healthy. These are things that you need to be monitoring and paying attention to. If you're in growth mode, these are things for sure that you need to be monitoring and making sure that you are not growing too quickly and harming your store. Because as you're starting to grow, things can start to slip through. These are things that I definitely paid attention to when I was growing, and now I'm in kind of this stable mode where I just want to keep things consistent, and I still monitor these things to make sure things are consistent and selling in exactly what I want them to be. If there is a problem in any one of these 3 things, I start digging really deep and figuring out what it is, because these are 3 things to make sure that my health of my reselling business is good. So the first thing is going to be sell-through rate. If you do not know what sell-through rate is, this is how many items you've listed out of how many items that you have sold. It is going to be a percentage. If you have listed 100 items for sale, you have 100 items for sale, and you have sold 10 of them, you have a 10% sell-through rate. One of the reasons, the main reason that I focus on this and not how many active listings I have, not how many quantity that I've sold, is it is a percentage, right? So let's say that you are increasing your listings. You're going to sell more items with increasing your listings. You're also spending more money with increasing more listings. So just solely looking at the items that you have sold as you have increased your store, right? If you have gone from 100 listings to 200 listings, you have now doubled your store size. If you are now only selling 15 out of 200, you have not doubled your quantity sold. Your sell-through rate is not going to be at that same 10% that it was before. This is a way of telling you if your sell-through rate is dropping, if your sell-through rate is lowering as you are increasing your listings, you need to stop and figure out why. It could be the items that you are sourcing and selling are not good. It's not what people want. You may be just listing for listing's sake. It may be seasonal. It may be your promoted listings. There's lots of different things that are happening. But if your sell-through rate is not staying consistent as you're listing more items, all you're really doing is spending more money and time. Right? You need to keep that sell-through rate consistent. And this is why it's important to look at your sell-through rate, because it's a way to look at the health of your business. It's a way, instead of just saying, hey, yeah, if I list 500 more items and I sell 5 more, I am making more money, but not at the same rate that I'm listing. And if you are not making more money at the same rate of your listing, there is an issue. This is why sell-through rate is so big. I use it so much on my channel. The second thing is going to be reseller nirvana. Now, this is from Chris at A Daily Refinement, but this is one way that I look at my store's health. And in the Sarah Stylez Sales and Trends dashboard, so this is a Google sheet. It's a one-time fee. You put your numbers in here. You have access to this chart and some of the other charts. I'm going to show you charts that you will see in some of my other videos. It's a one-time fee, like I said, a Google sheet. It's linked down below. If you are a YouTube member, you get 50% off, along with many other benefits of becoming a YouTube member. But the chart over here on the right is going to tell you your reseller nirvana. And I'm going to note too, sell-through rate. So if you don't track your sell-through rate, this tracks it for you. It tracks it for you on a monthly basis. It tracks it for you on a, hold on, let me get to it. It tracks it for you on a 28-day rolling. It tracks it for you on an annual. I look at this multiple times a week to make sure that my sell-through rate is staying consistent. I'm going to be honest, it's actually been going down, and I've been working on lots of ways to get it up, because that to me is telling me that there is something wrong with my store's health. For me right now, and I'll link a video up above, it's the market. So it is an external factor. It's not necessarily what I'm doing, it's an external factor. However, my store is not healthy because of this external factor. I need to be doing things that are reflecting the market. Yes, it's not me listing and growing too quickly. I figured out what the problem is, but now I need to figure out what the solution is. And I knew that this was an issue because my sell-through rate is continuing to go down. Reseller nirvana, though, is how many items that you're selling, the same amount of items that you are listing. And I am going to say, if you're in growth mode, it takes some time to catch up. So for me, reseller nirvana and sell-through rate, if you increase your listings and you're going from like 10 a day to 12 a day, for me, that's typically, I do small spurts so that I can monitor these numbers. if you're doing small spurts and you're doing it consistently for like a month or 2 months, if these numbers aren't back on track within, a month or two, depending on your volume, that's when you need to start really looking into them. So if you are like definitely changing things and you're increasing your volume, it's going to take some time, right? If you list 100 items today, they're not all going to sell. It may take some time for them to sell, but monitoring these items monitoring these are going to help you manage and make sure that your store is in good health, especially if you're in growth mode. But even for me, like I'm stable. I'm not trying to grow right now, and my sell-through rate was going down, so I knew I needed to look into it and figure out what was going on. So this is reseller nirvana. I'm teetering on this reseller nirvana. This is the middle of the week. Typically my weekend sales, will bring this back up. I did achieve it. I'm teetering on achieving it after 2 months of increasing my listings and really getting back after coming back from this summer. But this is one way to say, hey, if I am listing way more items than I am selling, I'm listing things that people don't want to buy, right? Listing more items to just buy more items, list them, have them sit in storage is not going to make you more money. If you're listing right at the same rate, you're spending more money, but you're not making more money at the same rate. And then the third thing that you can do, and this is eBay specific, but make sure that you're in good standing with eBay. And I'll show you how to do that. If you go to your eBay store, make sure that you're in good health. You can come up here. I'm on eBay. I'm on my eBay, my account seller dashboard. This is going to tell you all the metrics that eBay is looking at to make sure that you're in good standing, right? If you are top rated, I definitely highly recommend top rated. I'll link a video up here on why it's so important and how it can help you become a better seller. But you want to make sure that you hit this, that you're hitting all the metrics. You can lower these, and it's going to tell you all of these percentages, right? You want to stay a top rated seller. You want to make sure that these percentages are all where they need to be. Late shipment rate, is, and then if you click these even further, it'll tell you need to be under 3%. I'm not going to go into every single one of these, but make sure these are all where they need to be. You want to be top rated. If you're down here and below standard, you need to figure out what to do to get above standard and what you're doing. You scroll down, if we evaluated you today, all of these different numbers mean something, and they mean that you're in good standing with eBay. If you're not in good standing with eBay, if you have a high defective rate, if you have different things, work on fixing those. Most of the numbers are percentages, right? It's a percentage game. So that means if you have a high shipping defective rate, right, you're under or something that got you to the below standard, if you increase your sales, your percentage is going to come down. If you increase your sales without getting more dings, right? So let's say you have 2 items not as described, and it makes you have 2 items not as described and you've sold 5 items, right? That's going to give you a high percentage. It's going to give you, I should have picked an even number, and you have 6 sales. That's going to give you a 30% rate. Now, if you increase those 6 sales to 100 sales, you are now down under 1%. Because you have increased your sales. So it may be worth running a huge sale and really just cranking out, getting a bunch of items sold so that you are back in good standing. It's going to be a short-term impact and short-term loss in funds for a long-term reward. If you guys like this video, YouTube also thinks you'd like this video. I will link a playlist down here of how to make money reselling, and then make sure to hit that subscribe button.